Hi there, I'm Matt Montgomery. I'm part of the agronomic team here at Beck's. Today I'm in a field that frankly is just sticky. It's interesting because when you look around this field, you see all these little yellowish green dots or brown dots and all these little white specks all over the leaf. They're coating these leaves fairly intensely. What we're seeing out here is the presence of aphid feeding in this corn crop. And so we need to talk about aphids just a little bit. We need to talk about thresholds that we look at. We need to talk about the kind of injury that they do to the crop. And we need to toss out an explanation for why they seem to have blown up in this location in particular. Let's talk about the pest itself. Aphids are insects, but they're kind of interesting compared to the rest of the insect world. They're all female in season, and they give birth to live female young that are also pregnant and give birth to live young in very short periods of time. They blow up very rapidly because of that, and that process is called parthenogenesis. Now, aphids tend to feed on the plant. They do feed on the plant using a needle-like mouthpart. So they suck juice out of the plant almost like a mosquito would suck blood out of you and I. They suck that juice out, but they can't consume all of that material, so they excrete it as a sticky substance called honeydew, and that's the reason that these leaves are just incredibly sticky, and I can feel it all over me right now. Those aphids are oftentimes controlled naturally by predators, parasites, and disease. So we do have things like syrphid fly larvae. They're those little kind of sweat bee-looking things that swarm around you in the summer months, and their young actually crawl around on the leaf and devour aphids. We have ladybugs, lady beetle larvae, and lady beetles themselves will consume aphids. And we have enema pathogens, fungal pathogens that knock down this pest, that decrease its number, and that's another very significant way that we pull aphid back most years in fields like this. Now, why are we seeing it in this location? Well, one reason might be it's been incredibly dry, and that means that those fungal pathogens have actually pulled down in number, and we don't have them nearly as active in this part of the world. The other thing is that this location has been fairly intensely managed. At least it seems to have had quite a few fungicide applications, and it's entirely possible that we knocked out the natural controls, took all the checks off the system, and allowed this pest to actually jump forward at these very, very large numbers. What about thresholds out here? Well, usually we think about cornleaf aphid, a certain species of aphid, and we think about that being at the top of the plant, and we'll talk about a few hundred aphids on about 50% of the plants, making sure we're counting aphids and not the skins that they've shed. Those little white things are skins. That's what we count. If we hit that number, we sometimes talk about a rescue application. This is very unique. This is ear feeding down in this field, not really that top feeding. And so because the top part of the plant looks like it's okay at the moment, we're probably not going to pull the trigger out here, but this is very unusual and we'll want to keep our eye on it. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll talk with you soon.